All right, we are live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we've got a lot to talk about in our live stream. Okay, a lot's happened since our live stream we did yesterday. Today we're talking about how crypto is being tested. All right, and what you need to understand and watch out for. Okay, we're gonna look at, like I was saying, a lot of other things that have happened in the space since yesterday. Again, we do these live streams Monday through Friday on this channel. Just turn on notifications. You're gonna subscribe. You're gonna find out about those whenever we go live. We're going to check on the crypto markets, see what's trending on chain, answer some of your questions, and a whole lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step, start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so we've got people jumping in the chat here. We got Automatic Beats, Lee, Norris, Andre, I hope I'm saying that right. Michael, Christian, Dale, Alden, Jose, Nick, Tebo, Yanni, welcome. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's talk about how crypto is currently being tested and why this is a really crucial stress test for the entire space right now. And this is something that I think a lot of people kind of have been sensing, but we had some data come out yesterday that confirms that the likelihood that we are currently in the middle of a recession has increased dramatically. Okay, so we got a report yesterday that U.S. GDP fell at a 1.4% pace to start the year. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, first of all, it doesn't take a genius to look around and see that, economic conditions are not the strongest they have ever been. Okay. We've been talking about that for, basically since the beginning of the year on this channel and these live streams that, basically crypto's got some pretty severe headwind in terms of, what's going on with the global economy. I don't pretend to be a macroeconomics expert, but again, like I was saying before, it doesn't take a genius to realize that inflation's been a problem, the stock market's in the toilet, crypto is being drugged down by a lot of this stuff, a lot of common factors. And, a lot of people have been wondering about, hey, is there a looming recession, somewhere towards the end of this year, end of the next year? But the tricky thing about a recession is sometimes you can be in it already before you even know that it's happened. Kind of like a bear market, okay? So let's first of all talk about what is a recession in the first place, because it's a word that kind of freaks people out. But sometimes you have to understand what that word actually means so that you can kind of maybe diffuse that fear a little bit. So a recession is really just 2 consecutive quarters where the U.S. economy or any economy shrinks. So basically that means that the GDP is less than it was the quarter before, 2 consecutive quarters in a row. So we have basically 1 quarter where that happened, all right? Not by 1% in a quarter, but if you take the amount that it shrank in 1 quarter and you multiply it by 4, so annualized across, 4 quarters or a year, then that would put, if it continued to continue on that pace, that means that the U.S. economy would shrink by 1.4% over a year's time, which is definitely not what you want to see. But that would, be the beginning of a potential recession. Now, just because recessions, are 2 consecutive quarters, you don't know how many quarters it's going to be. It could be 4 quarters. It could be 6 quarters. It could be 8 quarters. It could just be 2. We might not even have another quarter after this with GDP shrinks, which would not actually be a true recession. Okay, so, why is this critical for crypto? Well, it's critical for crypto to see what happens to crypto during this time. What's going to happen to these prices if we actually do go into recession? Really, the other question is what's going to happen to the stock market, let alone crypto. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But first and foremost, let's talk about what this potential recession could feel like and what some outcomes are. So first of all, like I was saying before, sometimes when you're in the middle of these things, especially with the complex makeup of the economy right now, it's the most complex it's ever been. And it's the trickiest it's ever been because of all the factors we put on the table, all the global events, the intrinsic forces that have been inflationary, in addition to the loose monetary policy that has, of course, been inflationary. One thing people are potentially considering is that it's kind of like a paper recession, which basically means it's a recession technically, but the behavior of consumers didn't really like change that much. All right. And like a lot of the things that happened in the economy didn't necessarily, wasn't this doom and gloom type thing that everybody was watching for. Because basically, a lot of people are like, hey, once we find out that we're in this recession thing, the market's going to freak out and then it's going to dump. But the market is basically already freaked out and dumped. So, there's two outlooks on that. One is basically that if the R word actually comes up and it's confirmed, that we could see a final capitulation event, and then we could, basically resume our uptrend in the stock market and everything, right? Or that the market's very ahead of a lot of that type of stuff and has already priced that in before it even happens, okay? And then by the time you've hit the R word, it's like, oh, that we were in a recession, like that was it. So that's kind of what I'm seeing a lot of, right? So a lot of potential either one of those. So what does that mean for crypto? So crypto is being tested, like I was saying, and so far, let's assume we're in that first camp where stuff kind of got bad, and then we were like already in that sort of recession before we even knew it, and then by the time they declare the R word, like we're already kind of getting out of it. Let's just go with that scenario. Well, if that's the case, then crypto has held up pretty strong, all things considered. You know what I mean? Currently, Bitcoin we're trading just below $40,000. Currently, it never went back down to its prior low that we saw last summer. Now, of course, I'm not saying we can't do that. We definitely can still do that, especially if we fail to hold support on this uptrend here. Okay, but it's a pretty critical test. All right, so I'll put it this way: if Bitcoin and other major cryptos can make it out of this time, if we do hit that R word and successfully sort of just range at these levels and actually preserve value, then that's really, really good for the asset class long term. Because there's lots of people going to look at past performance. What did it do during these economic conditions? What did it do during those economic conditions? And if it can hold up during a really bad economic time like this, and that's incredibly bullish for the store of value narrative, for all these types of things, for the cryptos for the long term. Okay. Now, that being said, if it doesn't do that, I'm still not like long term bearish on crypto. If we see some sort of big capitulation event that follows the announcement of a recession, or even if it doesn't do that, even if we see sort of a further dump here, I'm still bullish on the entire asset class, and that we're generating technology that has unique benefits that can accrue value to the cryptocurrencies themselves and can still have a long-term uptrend. I don't think that a recession would kill that by any stretch of the imagination, but if we can successfully continue an uptrend, or at least range when we kind of get that bad news, then that's really good for the asset class long term. So let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. So it says we're all going to make it. So crypto is doing great, I think. Yeah, tech and real estate crashed in 2001, and then again in 2008, and now. Yeah, totally. So the good news is, the market for tech talent in this space is absolutely still incredibly strong. At the end of the day, that's what I want to help you do on this channel, is to help people transition their careers into the blockchain industry. And we're seeing still incredible amounts of fundraising for projects that are building in the space. The demand for tech talent is still insanely high, despite cryptocurrency prices going down, despite any fears of a recession. Everybody knows that there's a ton of upside potential in the blockchain space, and we're talking about where VCs and stuff allocate their money. Well, guess what? It's like when the stock market looks like it's in the toilet, but you see a brand new industry that you could put money into, the businesses themselves that could 10x plus in value. Like, which one are you gonna do? That definitely invest in where the tech is headed and people who create value in that space. So that trickles down to developers themselves and other tech talent in the industry. So let's look at a lot of this that's happened in the space since yesterday. So definitely in the short term, it's really hard to tell what's going to happen. So let's talk about some stuff that's happened in the space since yesterday. One thing I did see pop up was this. This is a pretty strong indicator of what's going to happen with the ETH merge later this year. So again, we do have a lot of exciting stuff on the roadmap for crypto in 2022 toward the ETH merge, where ETH 2.0 is going to basically the first phase that's going to come out. I know a lot of people don't even use the word ETH 2.0 anymore. I still use it because that's what lots of people still understand. But basically, we have the beacon chain that's going to get merged back into Ethereum 1.0 that everybody uses now today, or just, Ethereum's going to get upgraded. It's going to be the merge where proof of stake gets turned on. And there's 12 million ETH deposited into that deposit contract. That's 10% of the entire ETH supply. So the implication here is up only, but that's we'll see. But yeah, that's big, right? That's big. So we've got a lot of ETH that's staked, ready to get that network off the ground. People are hungry for that passive income reward. Again, don't forget, whenever the ETH merge happens, ETH is going to become deflationary most likely. All right, assuming the network activity stays the same. We can just check to see that. We can look at to see how much ETH is being burned on a daily basis. All right, so basically, if you look at how much ETH is being issued on an annual basis over here. Let me just pull this over so you can see it better. Basically, we are issuing 5.4 million ETH per year. We're burning 1.7 million ETH per year. But if you simulate the merge after ETH undergoes a triple halving, then based on the last 1 day's transaction volume and ETH burn amount, then we'd be minus 1% inflationary or 1% deflationary on an annualized basis. You can see what that looks like on a 7-day, on 30-day, all right, on 1 hour, all right, 5 minutes, all, okay. So, there's the network activity, assuming that it doesn't just completely dry up, which I don't see any good reason why that'd be the case. There's still a ton of demand for the Ethereum network to make transactions on it, do DeFi, do NFTs, do all this stuff. Assuming that it at least just stays what it is, or even if it gets cut in half from what it currently is, ETH's going to be deflationary, which basically means that there's going to be less ETH every single year, which is hugely bullish for the ETH price. Assuming the demand for ETH price stays constant, it's going to have it's going to have a positive effect on the ETH price. So that basic supply and demand economics. And if more ETH is getting staked, to earn passive income, it's going off the market. There's less ETH to sell. It just means, there's so many vectors that will cause a supply shock for ETH. Are there such things as trading crypto options? Yes, definitely. Bullish for security also, yes, totally. The security of the Ethereum network is critical. And the more people, stake, the more secure it is. Okay, so let's look at a couple of things that happened in the space since yesterday. Continuing on with our coverage of Elon Musk buying Twitter and what that could mean for like Web 3.0, okay, and everything like that. Of course, there's no guarantee that Twitter's going to become a Web 3.0 platform, okay? But basically, we've been talking about how, Twitter could change to use more Web 3.0 type values of privacy, trustlessness, censorship resistance, all that type of stuff, and how Elon could definitely be the person to help do that because he understands that. Elon, maybe publicly said about wanting to make the Twitter algorithm open source, okay? And he keeps talking about ways that improve spam bots. We talked about that yesterday in our live stream about how, hey, if you use Web3 encryption or something like that, that you could help prove that you're a human. It's a Sybil resistance problem, okay? Basically, how do you prove you're not a bot? You prove you're human, and a way you could do that is with a private key. We don't know how it's going to be implemented, but another way is that Elon's saying that Twitter DMs should have the same end-to-end encryption like Signal, so no one can spy or hack your messages. Okay, so that's another big value of Web 3.0 is basically having that privacy, right, where you retain more of your own information and somebody else doesn't have it. Okay, because think about it this way: if you're messaging on a social network, like people that they easily read that information, right? Anybody with access to the message logs could just see every detail of your private conversation. Okay, but if it's encrypted end to end on your device and then sent in an encrypted way to the receiver, then there's no way now, unless it's device to device, right? Then you've got to trust that it's actually getting encrypted, right? But still, like if we take Elon at face value as word, then that could definitely be a huge thing. Now, of course, I don't think Twitter's just going to move everything to using blockchains tomorrow by any stretch of the imagination. But if we see major social networks start to embody these values, there could be ways that, we actually use blockchain in some way to help solve this problem. One way I definitely think is the easiest way is to authenticate yourself with blockchain, authenticate yourself with some sort of private key, okay, digital identity. That's the easiest way I think to incorporate blockchain into this situation. But the more we see a major social network start to embody Web 3.0 values, the better, okay? And because that can make room for people understanding why we need this stuff in the first place, which, kind of turns people on to crypto, Web 3.0, all that type of stuff. Somebody says staking is driving the current trend. Yeah, definitely. Do you think it would be a downside to mining? Yeah, for Ethereum, it won't work anymore after a certain point. Somebody says, sounds terrible if you had to use a KYC crypto wallet to be able to use Twitter. Yeah. So I think part of the appeal here is that you could have some sort of third-party identity that's not like, KYC. You don't have to prove like who you are as much as just proving that you're a human. Okay, so let's look at a couple other things here. So a cool news article that came out yesterday, kind of flew under the radar a little bit, but I think it's pretty awesome. It's basically we found out that Edward Snowden played a key role in Zcash, all right, and a coin's creation. So basically, Zcash had to go undergo this thing that all like zero knowledge based technology has to go through. It's called a trusted setup ceremony. Okay, and basically, Edward Snowden was one of the people who did it. So Edward Snowden, the former U.S. defense contractor whose leak ignited a world debate about internet surveillance, played a secret role in the creation of the privacy-enhancing cryptocurrency Zcash. So the whistleblower, who was guaranteed asylum in Russia and has lived there since 2013 after the U.S. charged him with espionage, was one of 6 participants in the ceremony that established Zcash's so-called trusted setup. So his previously undisclosed involvement in the 2016 ceremony was revealed in a video to be released Thursday by Zcash Media, an outfit that produces educational materials about the privacy coin. So he says, I saw it being worked on by a number of trusted academic cryptographers, and I thought it was a very interesting project. So he did it under the pseudonym John Dobberton, hope I'm saying that right, to hide his role in the setup. So yeah, it's pretty interesting piece of news. Yeah, totally. Someone says fancy. Might hold on to some Zcash. Yeah, Zcash hasn't been holding too strong, has it? All right, so let's check to see what's trending on chain here. So I actually saw some of the projects we checked on yesterday actually performing pretty well. So let's just pull it up. So I'm going to check my trending page from BlockSite here. So if you want access to this, you can check it out in the link down below. So basically, this is my project. So basically, what I'm looking at here is projects that are trending on chain currently, and basically what is been created recently that has significant financial inflows into it based on how much money is flowing into the past hour. You can see how many people deposited. We can use some of that social proof from our rich list segment to see who is actually getting into these projects. And so if we look at what happened yesterday, we saw the BNDAO price. Again, I'm not financial advice. I'm not telling anybody to buy any of these tokens. But yesterday, what happened? Basically, if we caught this while it was at the beginning of trending, it started trending, basically, we've had about a 2x. So that was pretty good. So that's part of the value, is basically being able to find stuff before other people. Because once you find about stuff on social media, it's kind of too late. But if you can use blockchain data, it's not too late, but you're just not as early as you could be, right? If you can use blockchain data to spot those trends in real time and get alerts about things, that's where the real value is. And then yesterday we found this. This was this NFT collection that's being minted in a pre-sale. So it looks like the pre-sale is still happening. And then the floor price, if you check on OpenSea, is basically 2x of what the pre-sale mint was. So we can see what else is happening here on chain. Let's see here. It's like another NFT mint that's happening right now. So this is mint early access. Okay. So another NFT mint. Mint. Let's just check to see what it is. So this is My Imaginary Friend. All right, it's a new NFT collection. So Guy's first NFT collection. Unlock your very own imaginary friend by minting an imaginary past this April. You will unlock access to bring home an IF on the Ethereum blockchain that's personally generated by you. The My Imaginary Friend NFT will be a collection of 3,000, releasing at 0.5 ETH on April 28th, which is today. Let's see what else here. See, our BNDAO pool is still trending. Yeah, totally. Some funny comments in the chat about particular type of NFTs. How do you become a blockchain master? Well, that's what this entire channel is here for. So use everything at your disposal. Definitely go check out my video pinned to my YouTube homepage. How to become a blockchain developer in 2022. That's going to be the best place to get started. So anyways, if you want to get access to everything that's trending on chain in real time, get alerts about this stuff, because in the day you want to find about stuff as soon as it hits, then definitely check out the link down in the description below. So I have more ideas than I can execute on alone. Yeah, that's a common problem. There's too many ideas, too little time. The really important thing is picking the best idea you can and then executing on that with great focus to see if it works or not. And if it works, keep doing it. And if it doesn't work, stop doing it. Tulip mania for millennials. Because talking about NFTs. How long would be crabbing sideways? Yeah, that is the $1 million question. Somebody says, so to allow someone to purchase crypto options in the U.S., is this allowed? It looks restricted. So I'm not a complete expert in that, but most places that, let you do options with DeFi cut off U.S. customers. Okay. So I think a lot of that's got to do with the current options contracts, basically with how, like, what are the options contracts they're actually trading. It's a good question. Are meme coins dead? In my opinion, will they make a comeback in the next bull run? So, I think like everything in crypto, you're going to have category leaders that, survive long term. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're going to have all these meme coins that were part of this category. And I think it's very possible that the category leaders in the meme coin category have longevity because they have some sort of network effect. Now, whether that's Dogecoin, whether it's Shiba Inu, whether it's, some other animal coin, right? It's hard to say. But I think it's very possible that, one or two or a handful of these actually does have some sort of longevity. Now, that's not financial advice. I don't know what the price is actually going to do. But the idea that like every single, derivative meme coin is just going to explode like we saw before and have this run, like, it's hard. That's a much riskier bet in my opinion. So Jose thinks mid-June, early July market comeback and run strong all the way through October. Works for me. So if they ever finish E2.0, how much cheaper do you see transaction costs for the end users? So E2.0 is not going to fix the transaction fees. It's not going to fix the scalability. That's what layer 2 scaling solutions are for. So if you look at L2beat.com, this is where you build a second environment where you batch the transactions and you put them back on the main Ethereum chain. Okay, so basically, got Optimism, Arbitrum, all that stuff. These are all examples, and so this is what's going to help Ethereum scale. So we saw the Optimism airdrop happen. We talked about that in the stream yesterday. I think it's going to play a big part in the adoption of those networks soon. So you can see what's happening with the adoption. It looks like it's going down, right? But that's because it's measured in USD terms. But if you look at ETH terms, it's going up. No, I don't see the 7-day change listed on. And see if they do. Yeah, so if you see what Optimism did in the past 7 days with the airdrop announcement in ETH terms, it's going up. All right, everybody. Great questions. That's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people can learn about blockchain. And if you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? You can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step from start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. And until next time, thanks for watching.